Let me see that going live button. All right. Yo, what is up, chat? What is up, chat? Hope y'all are doing good. Good is crazy. Hope y'all are doing good. Hope y'all are doing great on this fine Monday afternoon, evening, night, morning, depending on what time zone you're in. But hope you guys are doing good. As the title and thumbnail may have clued you in, if you're a genius. Today, I'm going to be talking about My Hero Academia as a whole, specifically in light of its ending, and I will be here with a guest, a friend, a fellow MHA consumer, Mike Yubi. Say what's up, bro. Let them know.
Hello. I am, I'm Mike Yubi, or just Mikey for short.
Type shit,
but
bro.
Yeah, man. MHA, long ride. I've been reading since the sports festival.
Yes, sir.
So, it's been a long journey, to say the least.
Yeah, this guy, in case y'all don't know, is My Hero Academia's biggest fan, bro. Like,
okay,
what I am for, I don't know, Percy Jackson, Sasuke, whatever. He is for My Hero, bro. You know, it really goes My Hero, gap, Naruto, whatever else he reads, right?
Yeah, man. Just look at my profile picture. It has My Hero all over it.
Exactly, obviously. Bro. Exactly. So yeah. But yeah, so here we're here to talk about My Hero. It's kind of a retrospective, looking back at a lot of the things we liked, a lot of the things we didn't like, just our opinions about My Hero Academia holistically, now that we've seen its end, now that we've reached just about everything that I think the series, mainline, at least the manga, has to offer for us. But we're going to let, as I always do with streams like this, going to let people get in here. Kind of get situated. Maybe give like a couple of minutes. But hope you guys are doing good in chat. Shammy, hi, buddy. Hi, Shammy. Welcome to the stream, man. This totally original. Totally.
What a good friend, man. He's like coming through for us.
That's the homie, bro. I appreciate you. You real for that, brother. I appreciate you, gango. But yeah, on a real note, thank you, brother. Thank you for pulling up. I was gonna be real and said, nah, the bit's funnier. So I had to stick to it. But yeah, let's see. Demon Akatsuo, what's up? Zion, what up? Damien Rosario, hope you guys are all doing good. We got questions asking who Deku's dad is. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest. Maybe this is crazy. Maybe this is a little rude to the people that did actually have expectations of it. So I had to. Like for what though? Like real talk, right? Like I get being curious. I understand. But maybe I just don't remember. Like I'm not as pick a panel out of a chapter, know exactly, what I can pull from My Hero as I am with JJK. So it's possible that I'm missing something. But was there ever really a implication that we were going to see him, or that he was like important to who Deku is?
Not really. Like I feel like the only time Deku's dad is mentioned is when his mom's like talking about his quirk, like in chapter 1. Because I think his dad can breathe fire. Yeah, I think.
Garbage here, quirk, by the way, L jeans.
Yeah, that sucks on the throat, but yeah.
Deku's dad is all for one. Yeah, I remember that.
People did like believe that for the longest time.
Would you have been locked in for that?
No, because again, it's like All for One just has so much control over the story. You know,
that'll All for One and how we feel about him will be a reoccurring topic because love him or hate him, I hate him. Well,
he's there. Love him or hate him, he's there.
Yeah, so. You cannot say that he's not there, and that unfortunately he's not important. Like he is a very important piece of the puzzle. He is integral to what MHA is, ending it all. And while I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of that, it's a matter of fact that he's important to the story. But yeah, so I will say, as we're kind of just getting into it, letting some more people get in here, Mike, I kind of wanted to ask you, like generally before we get into specifics, how do you feel about MHA being over? Like not necessarily is it good, is it bad, but like you've been reading this for what? Like if you've been reading since the sports festival, like at least like 5, 6, 7 years, right? Or something like that. It's been a while.
Yeah, I'd say it's been like probably 8 years or something like that, I imagine.
Okay.
But yeah, man, it's been a long ride. My love for the series has dwindled a bit over time, so I'm not sure if I feel like a big loss in my heart, you know, with it ending compared to like maybe Naruto or Bleach. But it's gonna feel weird not seeing it in the magazine anymore, like that's for sure. And with like no continuation, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if a continuation does happen, because like if I'm thinking back to Naruto, I think like Boruto wasn't announced to like be its own manga till like 2 years after Naruto ended.
Okay.
So I would at least wait for that anime to finish for My Hero before like losing hope of like some type of spin-off maybe, because I don't know, I don't see Jump letting My Hero die, if I'm being real.
Would you want to see a spin-off? Like if Horikoshi was down, he was able, you would be locked in for it, or no?
Oh, so what? He's doing like literally everything, like the drawing,
Yeah.
the writing.
It's more like, instead of it being Boruto, it's closer to Shippuden or something.
I don't know. A part of me kind of just wants Horikoshi to do something new, if I'm being honest.
That's completely
because
fair.
yeah, I don't know. What do you think about that?
Honestly, I don't know if I necessarily think there's a specific need for it, just because I guess Horikoshi's problems as an author, or MHA's problems as a series, I guess more fittingly, are not ones that I think necessarily would be fixed by like more content after the fact, right? Like extra content about Deku's journey as a hero now, it could maybe pad some stuff out, but I feel like a lot of the damage or a lot of the perspective that I have on the series has been formed already. So while I'm not like, I know some people are like, I absolutely do not want a continuation of MHA, right? Not only is it not needed, it's bad. I actively don't want it, right? I'm pretty ambivalent. I'm like, I liked My Hero well enough, right? If Horikoshi thinks as an author, he's like, I can add something super meaningful to the discussion or to the story, I'm not gonna not read it. I'm not gonna not tap in, right? But at the same time, I'm not clamoring for it either. I don't think it's super necessary. I think My Hero, at least in my head, unless Horikoshi pulls a miracle or absolutely shits the bed, I think it'll stay relatively in that same score range for me, between that, like, I guess I won't spoil it. We can talk about that in a little bit. But where I have MHA now feels like it's where I'm going to have MHA for a while, unless I do a pretty extensive reread and just feel entirely differently about it, right? Hopefully the MHA fans are more accepting of that mentality than the Chainsaw Man ones. But, yeah.
I'm not even sure if a reread would... I don't want to say that. I don't want to sound like too confident with it. But I will reread it eventually, and we'll see. Because like, as a Naruto fan, I've been there. You know, the war arc, it gets trashed, but then people reread it and they're like, "Hold on, this might be the best arc of the series." So like, I don't know. I'll see how that goes. I've been enjoying the anime, because the anime has been kind of like a reminder of some bits I've
what
missed.
You used to love.
Yeah. But anime's been doing alright, but yeah, I'll definitely look forward to a reread at some point.
For sure. Sleeping Danger, think of the 14 real quick. Creams is currently eating Beware. Oh, Mikey, were you there for Creams' whole weird thing on stream the other day?
Was he doing like ASMR eating or something?
No, so it was this weird thing. I just want to warn the community members in the chat here, just so you guys are a little bit wary of this guy. Does he have a wrench? Oh yeah, we gotta take that from him, bro. Hey, bro, you're gonna be a great example of what happened to Deku. Watch this. Hey, bro, I'll give this back in 8 years. Nah, I'll give it back in a bit. It's just funny for the bit. But anyways, Creams was basically eating on stream, and he was like, bro, food tastes better on stream, whatever. Pretty innocuous opinion, but the reason he said it is because he likes knowing that people can hear him eat. And yeah, bro, it was weird. It was real weird, bro. Real strange guy. It was very unfortunate, bro. He's a freaky frog, weird guy. Honestly, but hey, I mean, like think Mineta, but like worse.
Oh yeah, okay. I mean, I can't say I'm surprised. Anything weird I hear come out from the podcast, it's always from creams his side.
Yeah,
So,
it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
yeah, I'm sorry you had to go through that. But
it was a little traumatic, but I really do appreciate your kindness there. But yeah, in any case, let's see. So I guess to get into it, because we've been on here for a little bit, let's just rip the Band-Aid off, right? MHA's final chapter 430, right? How do you feel about it? We can talk about the larger implications of it, but how do you feel about it specifically as a chapter in isolation, right? Almost not, you can't really discard Deku versus Shigaraki and all of the implications that come with that, but as much as how you feel about the chapter by itself as possible, I'm very curious how you feel about the whole thing.
It's weird because when it comes to final chapters, I feel like I'm supposed to feel like a certain way, whether it's sadness or excitement, but for this chapter in particular, I didn't really feel too much. Like, I don't want to go as far to say like it's kind of soulless a bit, but I think it's because like we talked about this before, but like so many characters are just like mute throughout the chapter. Like we only hear like Deku, Aizawa, All Might, and a bit of Bakugo speak, and I think it kind of flies by everyone else, all the characters like we've grown up with, and it doesn't feel as like, how do I word this? But like the path feels a bit disjointed with what Horikoshi was trying to do with it. And like, for example, I know Deku inspiring like another kid and stuff. I always knew that was gonna be a thing since the very first chapter, it's the perfect way to tie things back. But even that felt a bit forced in some ways. Like I didn't feel like, oh, that's really sweet. It still felt a bit just, I don't know. I don't know if it's it is hard to get rid of like Shigaraki and the fight before that and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like I just wasn't in the zone for what Horikoshi wanted me to be in. But yeah, we'll talk in more detail about it. But like, I guess for the broad notes, what do you kind of feel about it?
So I'm gonna approach it from this perspective. I actually think a lot of the concepts that Horikoshi was aiming for with this chapter are cool, interesting, and in line with what I think My Hero Academia is supposed to be overall, right? Deku not having a quirk is fine, right? Like I understand, and we could talk about a specific lack of cathartic nature in a bit, but I understand why that decision was made, and I think that decision can be made and it still be pretty good, in all honesty. I am just of the belief that he approaches it in a way that's a little weird, but regardless, right? Deku being a teacher, if he's not an active hero that's going out fighting villains, saving people, it is a position that makes sense for him. I think that, like you said, Deku saving that kid and acting as an All Might for the next generation, very good stuff. Very good stuff. Execution wise, I may agree that it's a little bit interesting. Or rather, like, not even so much force as it is just not nearly as poignant as it is when comparing it to the start of the series, which I guess makes sense. This guy isn't geared up to be the main character of a manga on his own, but it is still to say that it can feel a little wild there. I like that it seems to be the idea that like everybody is a hero. Your role in society outside of just punching and kicking bad guys has changed over the past 8 years. You compare kids now where they're talking about like, oh, I want to be making support items, or I want to like be a physician, or I want to be in like cybersecurity, or all of these other things, right? That are less glamorous on a glance than just being a hero like All Might, like Deku, Bakugo, etc., etc.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. You compare that to the beginning of the story, and characters are like, yeah, bro, I'm just trying to beat up bad guys and be like All Might, right? That's the inspiration for everybody. That's what everybody strives and aims to be. And seeing that change and acknowledging that those roles mean just as much as being on those front lines, everybody, quote unquote, being a hero, being extremely important and fundamental to the story. I think those concepts, I think they're like Horikoshi at the bare minimum was consistent with a lot of the ideas he put forward. Where I have my problems, in all honesty, once again, just speaking in isolation, I feel like the hero ranking system still being intact is wild. I'm gonna just be honest.
Yeah.
I feel like that spits in the face of a lot of the everybody is equally a hero, everybody is equally required and necessary. From the All Mights, you know, I guess Mirio now being the #1 hero or whatever, right? From the big guys to the small guys, I think it's important that they're all equally acknowledged, especially when you get someone like Endeavor who kind of felt the way that he did, had that inferiority complex, and as a result created a massive supervillain out of that because of the ranking system, because of like feeling inferiority in terms of strength and importance in an overarching society. I think not really emphasizing that has been done away with is just it's just a shortcoming, right? I think it's just one of those things to where Horikoshi could have very easily just changed a line of dialogue or changed a narration box, and you fix that. I think Deku is framed. I've always had a problem with Deku's framing a little bit, where I feel like he's just unwilling, or Horikoshi's rather unwilling to let him portray any emotion that is not overtly positive and overtly just I'm okay, I'm all right. There's very little introspection, I feel, with him. And this chapter, it's actually it's really weird that I feel that way, because this whole chapter basically comes from the point of view of him, but a lot of it is not about how he feels he's impacted things, how he feels about how he's grappled with Shigaraki's you know, I was gonna say passing as if he's not the one that did it, but how he feels about that whole ordeal. It just feels, I don't know. I think hollow in a sense, right? Forced, as I think is the word you use, but I think we're kind of getting at a similar thing there. Yeah.
Because sorry, because I was also gonna say I noticed in the chapter there's also like a Spinner's book that he also wrote called The League of Villains in there, and I'm kind of curious if like a book like that would make people rise up against the heroes, because I'm sure there's got to be some weird stuff in there that like is in the favor of like Shigaraki's side, you know, if you get what I mean. And yeah, it's a small thing, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But like also when it comes to a thing I did like was I think it was like the previous chapter, you know, we saw that kid with the coming out of the rubble, and like the grandma saved him and stuff like that, because he's also in this chapter and he's in like UA as well. So I kind of like that to show that, you know, he did go down a more positive route. He wasn't the next Shigaraki.
Yeah.
And stuff. So like that stuff is cool, but those are all like pretty small things compared to like what the story has been, I guess, building up to make me more satisfied. So like this small kind of like little Easter eggs for me in a way, you know.
Yeah.
But I kind of wish we focus on like the bigger picture with like how Deku truly did feel about losing his powers, rather than just being like, well, I knew it could have happened at some point, so like I'm good, I've done all I can type of deal, you know.
Yeah, it just feels very, very like. Okay, so do you remember when the chapter dropped immediately after the fight, and Deku's like almost crying when Bakugo's like, "Oh, what do you mean, like embers? That's crazy." It feels like it's set up for us to explore that way more in depth later, right? Like, this is a dude who currently feels like inadequate to express his emotions on this specific topic, because it's just like a super selfish thing to do. Bakugo's really injured. He just doesn't want to do it right now, right? He's once again succumbing to what I imagine to be like a flaw of his, of like putting people first to a detrimental extent, right? He's like, I never had quirks in the first place. I can't be mad about that. And I mean, it's obvious that it breaks him up a little bit, right? And it should. Yeah. This meant everything to him. It shouldn't be so easy to flip that switch. We then have him talk to Uraraka a couple chapters later, and in a sequence that I wasn't really the biggest fan of, not because it was bad, but more so just because it didn't feel like it rung very powerfully for me. But Deku is explicitly talking to Uraraka and comforting her and helping her through her issues, and that's great. I mean, that's what Deku's always done. But I feel like him never having a moment where, like you said, he gets to sit with the emotions and the reality of his situation, that, wow, Like, rather, not that he doesn't have that moment, that we never get to see it, right? Because I'm sure he had that. But Horikoshi as a writer never takes it upon himself to think, I wonder how important it would be to show, one, Deku dealing with this and maybe the ramifications of that mentally, and two, how he's able to cope, right? Because for him, it's like, it's getting your dream and then having that dream in a lot of senses stripped away, right? Now, he's able to get over that because he's such a good person. But I don't think, like, Deku's never been Jesus, right? He's not perfect without blemish and without, like, flaw. And I feel like it does, and this is a problem I'll bring up when we get more into overarching stuff, because I love Deku. One of my favorite characters in the entire series still, right? Against my better judgment. But one of the biggest problems is that I feel like a lot of Deku's struggles, or his shortcomings, or his character arcs, or his relationships have to just be inferred from the audience and are barely implied by the text. Like, it's something that I've noticed I'm just more greedy on when it comes to characterization in general. But it's like, I'm fine with having to infer things, right? Like, all of my videos are me trying to take something that I see initially and extrapolate off of them in some way, even if it's like something more simple like power scaling or just narrative analysis. So I have no problem with that. But my problem arises when I feel like a character is given nothing, even on that surface, blatant level of dialogue, of introspection, of whatever, right? And I feel like that's just a problem Horikoshi has always had with writing Deku, where it feels like he's never really the focus of any dynamic that he's in, right?
Yeah.
Shigaraki has more perspective on their dynamic than him. Bakugo has more perspective on their dynamic than him. Uraraka, same thing. Ida, same thing. The only character I could really, really argue that I think Deku kind of outweighs in terms of perspective is All Might. And even within, a lot of it isn't... It's not even the sheer amount of it that's the problem. It's like a lot of it I think is very... Vapid is not the word I want to use, but a lot of it is just very simple. A lot of it's played off as a joke, or just, pretty... like blunt admiration for him that doesn't necessarily tell us more about the character. So I don't know. I just feel like he's always passive in that way. And while I do think that you could see him as a little sad throughout the chapter, it's just I would just love to have seen a moment where he has to actually deal with that and cope with that and pivot for like the subsequent 8 years, right? It's not like a small portion of his life is derailed.
Yeah.
I mean, that is like, what is he? What would he be, 23? Right? That's
like 23, 25, something like that.
That's like a third of his life, right? That has been derailed. Up to that point, for like 16 years, he'd been hell-bent on being a hero, right? Even before he had a quirk, he was dedicated to being a hero. The next third of his life was a complete derailment of that. And I say be a hero, not in the My Hero Academia, everybody's a hero way, but I mean in the put on a costume and punch bad guys in the face way, just for clarification there. So I don't know. It's a very interesting thing there. I don't know. It's quite tough to parse.
Because, like, I don't know. It's like you were saying earlier, like, seeing Deku sad and stuff isn't enough. It's like those Twitter memes where it's like, this is peak character development, and it shows them smiling, then they're sad in the next one, sort of thing. But like, it's weird because for the moments where Deku should be talking the most, he kind of doesn't, and like that wasn't always a thing. Like, we'll probably talk about this more later, but like, he spoke a lot when it came to Todoroki struggles. I'd say even for his second fight with Bakugo, he spoke a lot for that. But like, even when it came to the Vigilante arc, and like he was separating from All Might, bro just does not say like how he's. We know for Deku that was a tough choice to make, but he just doesn't speak about it. And then when it's all wrapped up, they're just like, "Yeah, man, I'm sorry. Like we're all kind of both acting up there. It's like, we good? Yeah, we're good. And then it kind of like just passes off there. You know? So it's very strange way to approach it, MC, since like from the start of My Hero, we've kind of been following his perspective a lot, but then we kind of lose that suddenly towards like the last like 30% of the series.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's very. It's no secret that a lot of his most emotional moments come from him expressing himself too. And I feel like a moment where you could really highlight it. It's what everybody says. But like the vigilante arc. I just think you could explore a lot more of how Deku feels about that. And while we're with him for so long, we don't learn much that isn't expressed through his actions specifically, right? It's literally it's it's the meme you were talking about. I'm happy, now sad. And that's cool, right? It's fine as a general trajectory for the character, but I'd love to understand how Deku is feeling outside of things that I feel are just so simple, right? Like, okay, he feels like he has the weight of the world on his shoulders. He has to take down All for One and all of that stuff, right? But like, more, give me like, okay, how does it feel for Deku to be like basically propped up to be exactly like All Might and just entirely fail at it, right? Does that hurt? Even does his friend showing up, does that feel insulting? Like, oh, I can't do this on my own. Maybe that's not in line with his character. That's fine. Then don't say that aspect. But there's so many different directions you can sort of, I think, explore with a character like Deku, who is just, I think, is framed as altruistic in a lot of ways to a fault, taking things on by himself in a way that All Might did that got him severely injured. And you just very rarely get to tap into that. You very rarely get to see behind the veneer of like just pure altruism, heroism behind that. Like, you know, comparisons are just an easy way to I think, for this to happen. But like, take someone like Yuji, right? Yuji is someone that I consider, while not as noble as Deku in really any capacity, there are instances where it's very obvious that Yuji has like there's a wall there between how Yuji actually feels about something and then like how he shows himself. But I think some of the most moving moments in the entire series, the most recent chapter of JJK included, are when that wall gets broken down and you just get to really hear from the horse's mouth how they feel, what they've learned, and how they're going to be moving in the future, right? I mean, you take 132, that's one of the best, that's like unanimously agreed on to be one of the best chapters, not only for Yuji's character, but in the entire story. Chapter 265 recently is another really, really good example of that. It's no coincidence that when the character gets vulnerable and is willing to show themselves that they do that, right? Once again, another example, short moment, chapter 165, where Yuji's like, yeah, I did it, I won't deny it. People almost unanimously agree that was an amazing moment for Yuji. Yuji's conversation with Nobara, Yuji, like, there are so many moments where the character just sits with themselves or with another character and you just learn so much about them. If I had to ask you, when is the last time Deku has said something about himself? Not somebody commenting on him, right? Not somebody speaking on his behalf, but Deku talking about himself and introspecting, like in an introspective manner, and you learn something new. Like, this is for chat too. This is like, it's not a rhetorical question. I want you guys, if you can think of an instance, to name one. Because you got to go pretty far back. You have to go pretty far back. Because you think, oh, maybe it wasn't in the Vigilante Deku arc. No. Okay, so maybe you go, nah, it wasn't really in the War arc, right? Like, kinda. Like, you can say maybe it was with Nagant and the Vestiges, where he's like, I want to save that boy. Cool, right? That's one instance. Now let's go back again, right? It's tough again, right? And here's the thing. There are different ways to write main characters, right? Not every main character has to be so front and center in terms of like screen time or presence. I mean, God knows for a lot of JJK, Yuji hasn't been. But even then, people like to say, oh, Yuji is the main character, blah, blah, blah. You don't go very, very far without getting some pretty explicit Yuji shit. Like, honestly, Shinjuku Showdown, for a lot of it, was uncharacteristically silent from Yuji's perspective. Most of the time Yuji's on screen, he's saying a lot of things or commenting on a lot of things that give very blatant insight. And yes, I would argue that it's needed for his character, because you wouldn't use that question for like any other, like, okay, just imagine for a second, right? You're like, damn, bro, I really want, take any character, take what I'm about to say and paste it onto any character you feel like is, man, I really could have enjoyed that, right? I really could have enjoyed their character more. And I just say, was knowing more about them really necessary? It's like, well, More than likely, yeah. Like, more often than not, probably yeah. And it's like, you know, he's the main character, and he has a lot of screen time.
Because I feel like people like to act that we just want to get to the fights, you know, that's the main stuff we care about. We don't care about all this talking nonsense, but I think having these conversations where the characters just think on their emotions is like some of the best content we can ever get. Like when I think of Naruto, I think the best moments, as much as people make fun of it for how much Naruto thinks about Sasuke, like it's such a perfect headspace for us to get into with how Naruto's feeling. Like about how much Sasuke's destroying him and, you know, himself and all that. And even when it comes to like, because Deku not talking then creates bigger problems for people around him, especially like I'd say Bakugo, because when it came to the rivalry, I put a lot of stock in the rivalry. Like I thought this was gonna rival Naruto and Sasuke type of deal.
Condolences.
But
like dead ass, that's high expectations for not a lot. Yeah.
But I feel like we do learn a bit about how Bakugo feels, but like with Deku, we know like he does look up to Bakugo, but we never talk about other things of like, I mean, Bakugo did tell you to like kill yourself, like when you're in school, you know, to get a quirk and stuff like that.
That is a great example, right? How does Deku feel about that? And not how does, because you can speculate, you can infer, right? And there's nothing wrong with it, right? But think about what you have to do when asking about how Deku felt about that more deeply than I admired you, because I'm gonna be real. I think it's listen, Deku, it can be both. He can admire Bakugo for what he acted as and still hold not even resentment. He can still have qualms with like all of the shit that was in response to that, right? But you don't really, a lot of that stuff you have to infer. You have to seek out. And that's not an issue. It's that you have to seek it out in a way that you don't for other slightly less important characters. With Bakugo, how he feels is not said once. It's not said twice. It's said numerous times. It's said over and over. And I'm not saying that as an example of bad writing. I'm saying, yes, Horikoshi, you know that when you're trying to reinforce a crucial aspect of a character that is fundamental to how the series works, you typically want to continue reinforcing that. And you can do that by repetition. Like, repetition is a writing technique, right? It is something authors do in order to make something stand out, seem more important, right? That's why Plus Ultra is such a unanimous thing in My Hero. It's not, if he said it one time, if All Might said it one time and left it at that, it would just be some other phrase, right? It's prominent and it's within the forefront of a bunch of MHA fans' mind because he repeated it. How Bakugo feels about Deku, that inferiority complex, that's in the forefront of Bakugo fans' minds because it's repeated, because it's constantly attacked, but it's constantly attacked exclusively from Bakugo's perspective.
Yeah.
And whereas Deku, it's kind of like he just accepts however Bakugo feels, and it kind of keeps it pushing, right? Which, great for Bakugo's development, great for his growth, but not so much for Deku's, right? Not so much for how he feels. And it's not, and here's the thing, it's not like Deku has never exhibited these selfish moments before. Part of the reason bro tells Todoroki to use his fire quirk, not only to save him, right, but because it's insulting that he's fighting somebody who won't give it his all the same way Deku is, right? Like, he's, from his perspective, he's putting everything on the line, right? Not just like his hopes and his dreams, but his body. It's like, dude, this is, I'm breaking a part of myself to fight you right now, and you can't even be bothered to show me like the respect of using the quirk that you can safely use and make yourself even stronger. Like, not only is it just your quirk, but you're also like stomping on a lot of my effort. And whoa, lo and behold, when Deku does that shit, it is one of his best moments in the entire manga. Right? When someone mentioned when Deku's like, "Oh, don't be useless, Deku," right? Like, don't be useless when he's like pissed off at Shigaraki, or he's like all that stuff. The moments where we actually get to see him really feel some type of way that isn't just overjoyed, bubbly personality, oh, everything's okay, are typically the moments where, at least in my opinion, and seem to be the consensus for the character, he is at his most interesting and at his most enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. But yeah,
okay,
man.
that's how we feel. That's how we feel about that chapter. Now let's roll it back. We got. Don't worry, Chad. We just getting started. So, Mikey, I gotta grab something real quick, but I'll let you tackle this with chat real quick. So, how do you feel? Because I know how you feel, so I'll know how I can pick it back up. But how do you feel about Horikoshi's extended epilogue? Right, the epilogue that really shits on all other Battle Shonen epilogues in terms of length. Well, you do that, I'm be right back.
All right. Well, chat, that epilogue. I mean, it was an epilogue, I guess. It's weird because Horikoshi, like, I think he made an author's note being like, I'm aware most shonen tend to wrap things up straight away after the final battle. Naruto does that, Bleach does that. But Horikoshi was like, I got a few loose ends I need to tie up, so I'm just gonna go do that. And I mean, respect to him, I was excited. I was like, I genuinely did not know how many more chapters would be left on My Hero when he said that. But then, how many did we get? I think it was like maybe 6 or 5 chapters, or 7 or something like that, of an epilogue. But none of it really just hit home for me. Yeah, it's kind of like not too much happens, and I thought we would be just well. To be fair, there is some good stuff. Like I think the Todoroki and Endeavor Derby chapter is probably the best chapter of the epilogue. I think seeing Endeavor be forever locked into this like fate where he has to stay there with Derby, watching him for his entire life, just stuck in a wheelchair, like that is the perfect ending for Endeavor's character. And Todoroki being there was also great. I think Todoroki probably gets one of the best endings and Endeavor out of like any My Hero character. But besides that, I didn't really fuck with the spinner stuff, if I'll be honest. Like, I thought I would, but it just doesn't do anything for me. And yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. And then other characters start get done dirty, like Uraraka. I know I'm not really a ship guy, but for Uraraka, like her feelings for Deku has been there since early on, and it becomes like a very important part of her character, whether she considers it a weakness or strength. And then that comes full circle into Toga fight, which is great. So then you kind of expect it to get. You kind of expect just some type of result at the end. And like I didn't expect it to happen for that chapter when she was crying over Toga, because it'd be a bit weird to kind of just have a love confession right after you're like grieving about killing someone.
My God, I feel so bad for killing your Deku. By the way, I'm like madly in love with you. So what are we doing right now?
I feel bad about killing the villain I was supposed to take down too. So like I think we're perfect together,
Yeah.
but yeah, like that. I'm kind of annoyed Uraraka got pretty done dirty in the end, and I see people saying that it's realistic. It was just a high school crush, and it's like, okay, if it's realistic, you need to show Uraraka like admitting those feelings if that's true. Let's not like gloss over it. But like, I don't believe that. I know the feelings are still there, but yeah, I think she was kind of done dirty in that epilogue. But yeah, Rona, I was just saying, I think the best chapter to come out of the epilogue is the Todoroki and Endeavor and Derby stuff.
100%. Yeah. He's always been the best at writing that. I don't know why he's suddenly like able to do introspection with them. It's to say it pisses me off when not encapsulated properly. That shit. It's like, bro, it's not. I'm not asking Horikoshi to do anything he doesn't already do. I'm asking him to apply stuff he does with other characters, namely the main one, please. You give Endeavor internal monologue. You give Endeavor plenty of time to speak and like ruminate and really just like take up a room with his presence. You give well, not really Todoroki, but you give Dabi the same thing. You gave Bakugo the same thing. You give All Might the same thing to a lesser extent. You give a lot of these characters that thing. I'm like, can we not just, you know, can Deku not also think? Can he also not have feelings? I don't know.
Yeah. But how do you feel about the spinner stuff as well? Because I touched on that a little bit.
Not moved. Like either way, in all honesty, I don't hate it, but I'm just lucky enough to have seen the writing on the wall, bro. Listen, here's the thing. Horikoshi and a racism subplot, I didn't need it. I didn't need it. I just didn't need it, in all honesty, bro. We'll talk about this when we talk about Deku versus Shigaraki, but it is one of the many things during that arc where I feel like could have been shortened or chopped a bit, you know? Because wow. It just wasn't any good. It didn't go anywhere, in my opinion at least. It didn't move the story forward. It didn't move very many characters that mattered forward. I understand a lot of people were hyped for that, were gassed for Spinner kind of having a resolution, and I would say I get it. That would be a lie. I'm going to be honest. I don't really, but I sympathize with the people that had their expectations failed by it not being super expounded upon.
It's weird because like this is the recurring theme of Horikoshi, is that like the ideas are there, but like they're executed so weirdly. Like I think that scene of Spinner grabbing Deku and being like, Shigaraki was my hero is like really great. But because Deku doesn't really say anything meaningful, it's kind of like, yeah, just take it out on me like for a bit. And then he's like, I'm gonna write a book, and he's like, no, write a comic instead. And it's like, well, I mean, I don't really know how to feel about all that, but I don't know.
Yeah. Man, I will say this, right? And Mikey, maybe you were there for this portion. I know you were in stream a little bit. I was saying this on the podcast, right? But the reason I think that the further we got into MHA, like maybe that last 30-40%, the more dubious it got, is because in those last portions of the series, as an author, you have to make a switch, right? You have to change from asking interesting thematic questions to answering those interesting thematic questions. And the way I phrased it was pretty simple, right? Asking them is super easy. Now, asking them in a narratively engaging way that's super compelling, not as easy for sure. I'll give Horikoshi his flowers. But asking questions will almost always in a context like this be easier than answering them. So when you're just presenting the trauma of the villains, when you're presenting the problems in society, the nature of like heroism and how it's broken, right? That's great. That's excellent. Those questions should be asked not only in MHA, but they should be asked in the real world, right? They're poignant for the society we exist in now. But ask a motherfucker that understands that there are problems in the world, how to solve them logistically and realistically, and watch them freeze.
Yeah.
And it's not really for any fault of their own, right? Problems are easier to present than solutions are, at least in my experience, right? It's easier to be like, hey, that doesn't work, than, okay, well, do you know how to make it work? Shit. You got me. I don't know, right? So when you get to the stage of the manga where now all of these things that have been built up, Horikoshi has to start answering for them. He has to start answering for societal issues, for heteromorph racism, right? For how do you solve that? For like, okay, how do you reconcile all the genuinely dastardly and bad things that Shigaraki has done with the fact that a lot of it was just a product of his environment, of his family, of his abusive household, of generational trauma that stems directly from heroism, that stems from people not reaching out to a lost, broken child when he needed help? How do you reconcile those things, have Deku understand that, help him, save him in a cathartic, or even if it's in a bittersweet way, in a way that doesn't just throw a lot of the burden onto some, mustache twirling supervillain, right? It's harder. It's just more difficult. It's just a taller task, right? And even for really well written series that are almost unanimously agreed on to be great, I'll take one, right? Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga is a manga that I worry will have a lackluster ending because the questions it's asking are real, like, top level human questions, right? Like, damn, bro, how do you have a pacifist society realistically in a world that is just not going to always abide by that, right? How do you keep the people that are going to act out in line if there's no violence ever? It's just compromise. What happens when you come across someone that's not willing to? That is a stupidly engaging question, right? A very narratively rich topic to ask, and on a lower scale and on a smaller stage, answer for, right? But when you get to the big screen, when you get to the big game, right, and the lights are really bright, you gotta show me something, right? Yeah. And I'm not saying like Horikoshi's a bad author, he's incompetent, he's stupid, he's whatever, right? It's just he asked some real big boy life problems, and in my opinion, the only way that he knew how to answer them were through some big boy cop-outs, through some listen, Shigaraki, I don't know how to save you now. But if I make All For One take over your body, and then I beat All For One, and the way I beat him makes you die, then I'm able to say I saved you, and you lose, and we get to move on about our life.
Yeah, because I don't really like that Shigaraki, the main villain in the series, has been like building since early ass chapters. He's kind of like the example of Deku kind of messing up a bit and then being like, we're gonna learn this for like next time. Like, I kind of feel like we should have had another villain kind of be that example so that he wouldn't mess up this time with like Shigaraki, because I know Horikoshi paints it as Shigaraki was saved and he can write that into the story, that's cool, but having it be like, well, was he smiling, Deku? Tell me, was he smiling? And Deku's like, wait, yeah, he was smiling, yeah. And then it being like, well, there you go, man. You saved him. Good job. Like, it's a bit weird, because even Deku still has those feelings, being like, when one of the new classmates comes in and being like, man, the way you took down Shigaraki, like, that was really cool. And Deku was like, I don't really know, like, how to feel about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, dude, it's so funny because even in that moment, I just checked, right? Hold on, if I'm gonna be on my hater shit, I might as well be on my hater shit properly, right? Give me 1 second. Let me save this. Hold on, so I can put it on stream for y'all, chat. Even in a moment like that, right? Let me pull it up. Even in a moment like that, it is something that just kind of gets glossed over in my mind, right? Crazy hate incoming, chat. My fault, gang. But it's like, damn, bro. Horikoshi, you couldn't lock me in for a full introspective chapter in that moment. We couldn't get that. Here you go, chat. It's this where he's just like in response to somebody being like, damn, Deku, you were so cool, murdering that bad guy for real. This is all right. That's kind of it, right? And then when Deku goes on, because he may say, "Oh, but he was talking about it with Uraraka," right? It's like I don't know. Maybe, like I said, it's very possible I'm just too greedy. It's very possible, right?
No, bro, you do not have a lot on your plate. I'm looking right now. You do not have a lot.
But let me see. I'm seeing 3 pages. So chat, this is the first one, right? We're gonna switch it out with the second one. It's shared with Uraraka. All right. He's and listen, this is a good start. This is a good, like, okay, lock it in, right? This is how he feels. Establish that. That's cool. That's great. Let me blow it up for y'all. All right. This is the part down here. Same thing's been weighing on me about Tenko, about Tomura Shigaraki, I mean. Right? Okay. Cool, right? You'd be thinking maybe this is the setup for like he's about to go crazy. He's about to go
we're
crazy.
getting the knife and fork ready. We're getting ready to dig in.
And then this is it. And then they get interrupted. And that's just it. That's just it, chat. And listen, I know it sounds like I'm hating, like I'm doing tricks on it, whatever, right? But like, I need y'all to be so fucking for real, bro.
Bro, like...
Can we be honest? Because Deku has, like, he's been set up to be, how should I put this? This isn't the character that I fuck with. This isn't all that he is, rather, right? It's not to say that he doesn't have these traits or that this isn't how we would approach it, but why are the ramifications of his guilt all of, like, 4, not pages, panels. Not pages, panels. I showed y'all 3 pages, but Deku's like grief with all of it didn't take up all of them, right? It wasn't. So it's just so frustrating. It's just so annoying.
It's weird as well because like you can't have Deku just being like, well, let's go plus ultra kind of thing. It's like that is kind of what he's saying like in that final speech bubble, and it's like,
yeah,
Deku, let's lock in a bit. Like, this is real stuff. We can't just really say that. You can't go to like a mental hospital and say that. Come on, guys, plus ultra.
Let's have a plus ultra. Let's have a plus ultra mental health day. And listen, it's just, it feels stripped back of nuance and any real hard hitting questioning, hard hitting like analysis of the state that allowed something like this to happen. It's just. Listen, Zion, you're saying some shit I've been saying for like probably literal years, bro. I think in a manga that is probably, first of all, let me say something real quick, right? Horikoshi struck me as a guy that was infatuated with comics, right? Just loved them. You see the Batman inspo, the Spider-Man inspo, blah blah blah, right? And I thought personally, in a manga so inspired by superhero culture and comic books, wouldn't it be great to have Deku take on a similar like writing and introspective structure as someone like Spider-Man, who just talks and yaps to himself constantly? Honestly, I thought that's what the Vestiges were going to be for, partially as a narrative tool, right? You allow him to constantly bounce his ideas and problems off of people that can constantly listen to him, right? You allow him to, even if you don't, okay, maybe talking to himself's a little too weird, although they play him talking to himself as a joke, so we know he actually does it. But whatever, I digress, right? Maybe talking to himself is too much. It's too weird, right? Horikoshi, at some point you gave him motherfuckers to having a conversation with him at all times, right? You gave him that person. You gave him that tool to be like, hey guys, this is how I'm feeling about this. Blah blah blah. Because it's not fair to say, oh, in every instance he's going to be able to talk. He's fighting for his life. That's not realistic. Okay. What about the motherfuckers in his head all the time? In his head all the time. Because here's the thing: he talks to himself. He uses them. But what Horikoshi does is he only uses them for strategy. It's never anything more than battle tactics. It's, okay, this is how I'll use gear shift, and this is how many times I can use it left. That's cool. That's important, too. I appreciate that. But, motherfucker, Deku is not just a tactician with no emotions and no heart, right? And neither are these people. Neither are the Vestiges, right? They all have, like, a very deep connection to everybody in this story that's relevant in this final arc. And for it to kind of just be chalked up to, meh.
Yeah, it's like, just be my power and just stay in the back, will you?
Yeah.
Type of deal. I love how like we're like, okay, enough about Deku's character. Let's talk about the epilogue. It just goes back to talking about Deku.
Yeah. But bro, okay, I gotta say this though. I don't know if you saw, it was an interview, I think. I don't know if it was recent or not, but someone asked like how comics play an inspiration in a Horikoshi's work, and he's like, just surface level stuff.
I did
Bro,
see that, yeah.
The way my jaw dropped was insane. I said, "Are you a fraud?"
I just like the pretty pictures.
Yeah, I just think the images are cool. Like, bro, no, what, no.
The Spider fella, that's his name. I like him. He's a good guy.
That spider fella is crazy, by the way. Yeah, Hoo-wee, man. Nana feels worse about Deku losing his quirk than Deku. Yes. Oh god. Okay. All right. We talking about Deku a lot, right? I think we could talk about what personally in my head is the elephant in the room. Deku versus Shigaraki. The final fight of the series, the thing that this story had been leading up to, right? The fight. This is this manga's Naruto versus Sasuke. This is that, right? This is the culmination of not only the themes of the story, but all of the action, all of the investment, everything, right? The table is set. It's there, we got it. I'm going to say this with very little exaggeration, right? There's going to be some twang on it because I'm heated. There's going to be some twang on it because I'm heating. A little seasoning, but the main dish, that shit's real. Horikoshi, to some degree, failed this fight on almost every level that a fight can fail or succeed on. This isn't to say that the fight has no value or no good traits, no good attributes. It is simply to say that in my mind, on almost every level you can grade a fight, Horikoshi fell some degree of short in some avenue, right? Some places he fell shorter than others. Some he almost fulfilled its potential, right? But when you think of a manga fight and you think, what makes a good manga fight to me? When I read Deku versus Shigaraki, when I look back at what it is that I was eating up because I just needed something, I just needed them to stop staring at each other. Me and Mikey, deadass, were like, bro, yeah, they're actually fighting,
Yeah,
bro.
Top manga, top one fight. Oh my god.
Type shit, right?
Bro,
When I
like,
tell everything. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say because like, bro, I got the tweets up when I'm like, yeah, My Hero is my favorite manga in Shonen Jump right now, and it shows like Shigaraki and Deku when Shigaraki's like the villains need a hero of their own and stuff like that. But now, bro, I look back on that, and I was like, yeah, I was really craving those scraps, like, cause I did reread it when it was said and done, and yeah, man, top one, no. Top 3, no. Top 5, no. Sorry, no. But yeah, so sorry.
No, you're good. How is that fight not top 5, bro? How can you make that fight not top 5? Like, listen, I said this. It's a hot take, apparently a burning hot take, and that's fair. That's fine, right? For all 2 of the MHA Vigilante fans or readers out there, I like 6 versus Koichi more. I think it does a lot of those things traditionally better than Deku versus Shigaraki, personally speaking. This isn't a commentary on MHA Vigilantes versus MHA as a whole. A lot of motherfuckers said, y'all just lying, bro. Y'all just saying anything. y'all just saying anything better than MHA. That's not what I'm saying, dumbass. Read the tweet, right? You just jumping on the bandwagon. No. I tweeted that. I tweeted out that MHA Vigilantes, that final fight was a top 5 fight in the MHA franchise over 2 years ago, brother, right? I've been meaning this shit, right? I've been meaning this thing, and it's for 2 reasons. 1, that fight is gas, and 2, that fight does something that Horikoshi fights generally don't, and it just lets motherfucker throws it. It just lets niggas fight. It just lets them punch, hit each other, use their quirks, use them creatively, and just. I know this sounds, oh my god, bro's a dummy battle shonen. Listen, bro, I'm sorry that I want my battle shonen to have good battle parts. Like, it just is what it is. From a purely action perspective, Deku versus Shigaraki is sorely disappointing. It is, like, we'll talk about the deeper things, but we've been talking about narrative for a little bit. So let me, chat, may we have the floor? Can we talk about, like, just some simpler shit? The choreography, whack, brother. Whack.
Bro, just having, like, 2 characters that can use multiple quirks, and they're just not being as crazy with them as... First of all, Shigaraki, bro's... If you told me bro just had, like, his decay quirk, I'd believe you. Because that's all bro's doing throughout that fight. Deku does use some of his other quirks, like he does the smoke screen and stuff, Black Whip, whatever. But, like, Deku is creative with his way of fighting. Like, when he has, One for All, he's not like All Might when it comes to fighting. He has his own ways. Even, like, people joke about it, but him kicking and stuff, he still invented his own way to fight. but like bro just really is not creative with his quirks at all. And like I saw concepts someone drew online of Deku like making black whip weapons and stuff. It's like that's so fucking cool. Like I don't know why bro couldn't do that, or just start swinging Shigaraki with the black whip into the mountain and stuff. Like just go crazy with it, because I think Horikoshi is trying to make us believe this fight is really chaotic, but like it really isn't. To be fair, like a more chaotic fight felt like I'd say even Bakugo's fight with All For One.
Bakugo versus All For One felt way more powerful, bro. And I'm like,
yeah, 100%.
Listen, there are some really great sequences, right? Let me like there are some moments where I'm like, oh damn, artistically that's sick as hell, right? Let me like there are some really like Horikoshi. Here's the thing: don't conflate bad choreography with bad artists. Neither of us are dumb enough to say that. Horikoshi's an amazing artist, right? Bad or uninteresting choreography, right? That's what we're talking. He has moments like this. Damn, that's hard. That's kinetic. That's powerful. I fuck with it. Horikoshi, hats off, right? But there are other moments where you start reading the chapter in full and you're like, oh, they aren't really scrapping, bro. They aren't really hitting each other like that. It's like what it feels like is big move, talk, big move. And it's like, listen, I've literally just said for like the past hour, bro, I want Deku to talk more, right? That's what we've been saying. So don't even misconstrue that as I have a problem with the speaking. The problem is that there's like almost no, there's no just like uninterrupted, very visually interesting action, in my opinion, right? Everything is so, it's just predicated on landing like one big hit, it being crucial to the fight evolving that way, and then moving forward, right? And hey, that's Horikoshi's style in a lot of fights, right? Maybe you could just say that, hey man, that's just the way, that's just how it goes, right? That's how Horikoshi illustrates. I'm like, sure, but there are moments where he like decides to actually have choreography be present. It's not like the first time he's ever written a fight or ever illustrated a fight. I think one you've mentioned is Deku versus Bakugo round 2.
Yeah,
it's
100%.
Like, is well choreographed, right? You can keep the emotion and strength of like really big punches and really big attacks, right? While still having choreography that's interesting and entertaining. Dog compare Sakamoto to MHA. Here's the thing: it doesn't have to be Sakamoto Days, right? It's not fair to compare it to Sakamoto Days because a lot of shit gets shat on by Sakamoto Days in terms of choreography, right? There are a lot of cool pages, but there's not a lot of cool consecutive fighting, in my opinion, right? A lot of it is okay. Some of the emotion is pretty sick, right? But I just feel like it always sounds so shallow to talk about it like this, but I'm like, am I not allowed to just be pulled into the thrilling aspect of this fight, the real energetic, like, oh my god, who's gonna win, who's gonna lose, like just feeling like there are real active stakes on the table, life or death, the adrenaline's pumping, right? Where the hell are we at? Right? Like, say what you will about JJK, even if you're not a big fan of it. One thing you can't say is that KK don't be just writing shit that's interesting to see on a page, right? It's cool. And you could listen, I like JJK a lot, so I probably wouldn't have a lot of these arguments. You could say a lot of things about the writing if you wanted to. But I would say, hey, the choreography hits, and that is, accept it or not, a huge part of a battle shonen fight, at least in the way that they are typically constructed. Like Mikey said, I feel like the way you have two characters that have several quirks, and it doesn't feel all that different from just two characters that would have one quirk.
And the thing is as well, I think this fight spans across 12 chapters, like including All For One, taking over and stuff. Like it spans across 12 chapters. That is plenty of time to like get some good fighting choreography in there. Because like Naruto versus Sasuke, that's only like 4 chapters, and it's still better than this. There's still more. I saw that Twitter thread. There's still more hits in the Naruto versus Sasuke fight than this as well. So it's like it's so weird if Naruto can fit in like a really amazing, like people say one of the best fights in the series in just 4 chapters long. Granted, the anime does extend it a bit, and that's why I don't bet on it. I don't think the anime will extend this fight, because I think the last extension the anime has ever done for a fight is All Might versus Nomu in season 1, because that fight is like, that fight is 2 pages long in the manga.
Damn.
And in the anime it's like 2.5 minutes. So it's super long, but I could be wrong on that. I haven't rewatched My Hero for a long time, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't have faith Bones will, because Bones are very one-to-one with what they do for My Hero.
Yeah, man, it's just on that battling aspect, it's simply frustrating. Like it just is what it is, right? I think that it's, hey man, I wanted the fight to be exciting, and I think it gets even more frustrating when you have such a good artist playing in your face. Like, bro, Horikoshi, you're Horikoshi. Why am I hearing motherfuckers say, oh, he can't do choreography, oh, he can't do this, oh, he can't do that, dude? Yes, the fuck he can. Like, he's one of the best artists here, bro. What are we doing?
He's a grown man. Like, we don't make these excuses for him.
I don't know. It's really interesting on that front. I saw Sleeping Danger. I gotta read the super chats in a second, so let me go back up. I saw Sleeping Danger ask me, I'm Black Clover's biggest hater, but choreography wise, which is better? I'm gonna be real. If I'm gonna be honest, neither of them super stand out to me choreography wise. But I just looked up like on Google Black Clover fights. I'm like, nah, this probably has a lot more like shown sequenced action. I'd probably say Black Clover fights. Like I'd probably say Black Clover fights hit more in the manga from that pure action perspective, right? Now, can I name that many Black Clover fights? Don't interrogate me. That's crazy, right? Mind your business. But from the ones I do remember, the ones I just see when they come up here, I'm like, yeah, no, that looks more interesting, right? Despite me thinking that Horikoshi, maybe hot take, maybe not, it's a like not vastly superior, but is like in my head obviously better, right? Than another great artist, Tabata, right? But that is simply to say that I think from that perspective, from the perspective of creativity and usage of quirks, it just wasn't great, right? So it's like, okay, cool. We're already taking one thing off the list in my head, right? We're already saying, all right, from a battle shonen perspective, from a fight perspective, we are knocking off points for the actual visual and like meathead aspect of it. It's, My Hero has never really been the manga that'll have the best version of those, right? That meathead just look cool choreography, cool pictures, cool action sequences. But not having it in a fight this important, you feel that, right? Okay, that then makes you go back. All right, let's look back then. Maybe we'll look at like the narrative and the emotions, and that'll really carry. That's where My Hero's always been strong. And Mikey, I don't know if you wanna touch on this first, but yeah.
What touch on what?
Like, how should I put this? The narrative character aspect of Deku versus Shigaraki. How it ended, how it's resolved, all that stuff.
I mean, it was going somewhere. Like when Deku was like going back through the past and stuff, and he was there to save little Tomura from getting hit by his father. I really love that stuff. But then like it gets interrupted by All for One, which isn't great. Then obviously when Shigaraki dies, we get 2 pages of them just talking. Not great. But it's so weird. I don't understand. I don't understand, because it's not like Horikoshi has nothing to work with, because he's been building this since the very start. There's so much to talk about, but we just don't really get anything. Again, it's like, I don't want to go back to Deku again, but like Deku doesn't really say much during it. Neither does Shigaraki, and it goes into the whole problem of, did Deku really accomplish his mission to begin with? Because throughout the whole series, he's the only one saying that he'll save Shigaraki, and everyone is like, nope, bro, you just gotta kill him just like that. And I don't like how people online are saying, oh, but it was always foreshadowed how Deku was gonna kill him, because everyone else was saying that. As like, that's not the whole point. Like, the whole point is that the MC goes down a much tougher route. Like, we know it with Naruto too, that everyone was telling Naruto to give up on Sasuke, and bro didn't want to. So like, if Naruto did give up on Sasuke in the end, people would really be like, yeah, man, like, it was always foreshadowed it was gonna end up like that. So it's a great ending. But yeah, I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, I mean, dude, when I saw that All for One was at the end of like one of the chapters, I was like, oh no. I didn't want to believe it, bro. I didn't want to. Like, I was like, nah, bro. Shigaraki's gonna like erase him. They're gonna get back to their fight, right? I remember thinking, and probably even saying that. But when I saw what was it, like the All for One mouth and the ground, and I'm like, no, please, Horikoshi, don't, because this would be the third time All for One's taken over Shigaraki and removed agency. And like one time, you do it one time, it's like, okay, cool. I can kind of like understand. It's a fake out. Shigaraki, you got to get rid of him, right? You do it twice, it's like, okay, maybe you're trying to like, through repetition, a writing technique, you're like, okay, you're trying to show how much of like a cockroach he is, how bothersome, how tough he is to get rid of, right? A third time?
Because it also ruins Bakugo's moment from before, because Bakugo had... the way Bakugo finished that fight was amazing, because he was about to fall down, and he was like, nah, I need absolute victory, and he's like, I'm just gonna watch you, like, disintegrate right in front of me. Like, that stuff is amazing.
Yeah.
But then bro shows up again, and then Bakugo shows up again, and it's like, okay, like, stop. Why we doing this? It's so strange. I wonder what Horikoshi thinks everyone, like... I guess everyone thinks about, like, All for One. Because I don't know if he's like, yeah, like, this is my mastermind villain, like, the whole time.
Brother. I did something crazy. Like, All for One might go down as one of my least favorite main antagonists ever.
Yeah,
like,
I'd say so too.
Because it's not just the lack of interest I have in him at a baseline. It's like, oh, you're actively sabotaging other good characters. That's impressive. That's impressive, brother. That's like, I got. Hold on. Let me. You gotta give it up, bro. You gotta give it up, because at a certain point, you're just like, I've never seen someone stab themselves in the foot so effectively. I don't know, man.
But the thing is, as well, with All for One, is that, like, bro had that aura at the start of the series. Like in the Hideout raid arc, when he appears for the first time, and Deku's like, bro, if I breathe, I feel like I'm gonna die, and stuff like that. That stuff was like amazing. But then whenever he's on screen during the war arc, like, I don't feel that aura at all. I'm kind of just like, all right, like, can someone like finish him off already? Let's kind of like keep it moving, type of deal. But
yeah,
man.
Yeah, and chat's kind of echoing what you were saying, where like, you don't even get to write off the coattails of like All for One being a very intimidating villain. I just don't think him being like this paragon of evil was really too important either, because at the end of the day, the story MHA was trying to tell, I feel like, was about nuanced villains that came from problems that were beyond their control. In All for One's case, right, it was like, okay, yeah, you were born and you like were selfish and you wanted everything and you were greedy, right? And it's like, maybe there was something bigger at play than that, but like, you see that and it's like, disrespectfully, I don't care, right? That's not what your role was, All for One. That's Shigaraki's role, to be a sympathetic, and I don't even think Horikoshi was trying to make him sympathetic so much as like, he was just trying to, I feel like he was priming us for that turnover where he's like, yeah, guys, see, I made him insane. Listen, y'all, I cooked, y'all. I did my thing, guys. See that backstory? That shit was hard. That shit was hard, right? Now y'all want him to be the main villain over Shigaraki. Yes, sir. Like, nah, bro. We were not fucking with that.
Bro, so someone in chat said, yeah, like, honestly, that kind of makes him the best villain. Bro's ruining the story for everyone. It's like, you know what, you're right. He did ruin it for everyone. He broke through the manga, literally ruined it.
Yeah, W meta narrative. W meta narrative. Let me read some of these super chats real quick. Obelak, thank you for the 2. Somehow, all for one returned. Yeah. Because he was just cooked. I was like, oh, he's just there. Nice. Sick. Cool. Let me see. Horikoshi gave all of his time to the Todoroki plot. God, bro, we could talk. I'll talk about reallocating some shit in the work in general in a bit, but let me read these first. Weeb Guru, thank you for the 2. Can we talk about Dobby? About how Dobby's the best villain of the show? I mean, by nature of him getting an interesting conclusion, I would say honestly you can make that argument more. Like I've always been a Shigaraki guy, but I'm like, damn, dude, Shigaraki, you kind of went out like a chump. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think? How do you feel about Dobby relative to other villains?
I didn't really care that much. I think I more so cared about how it affected Endeavor and Todoroki. And like you said, Dobby does get the best villain. Like the Todoroki family is just like the strongest part of My Hero.
Very consistent.
I'd say just all around, yeah, like 100%.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like favorite villains, I don't think any latch out to me too much. I used to be a massive Overhaul fan.
Okay. Condolences.
But yeah, because I did like his conclusion when Shigaraki comes in and chops off his arms and is like, bro, you're gonna rot in jail while I steal all the years of hard work, like right before your eyes.
Yeah.
And that was hard, but that plays again into like Shigaraki again. But
like I would honestly, Shigaraki might have gotten like the worst conclusion. Because I think Toga's conclusion is better than his, personally speaking.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Now, do I think it's kind of silly that like Uraraka was gonna die from a stab wound that we've seen like 400 other MHA characters take and just keep it pushing? Maybe a little bit, but like, all right, whatever, it's fine. It's, you know, you facilitated something. I'll let you rock, I guess. Horikoshi, that was better. Dobby's conclusion was better. Someone in chat mentioned Twice's conclusion was.
Oh yeah, Twice has a great conclusion. I'd say.
Yeah.
With like, do you think so? Like, with
yeah, no, I agree.
No,
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I'm just like, damn. You know, I would say, you know, Stain getting turned into a stain on a building is a conclusion, I guess. That was weird.
Wait, did he die?
I'm pretty. Didn't All for One kill him? Like, doesn't he?
I do not remember what happened to him.
Hold on, chat. Correct me if I'm wrong. Does Stain not pull up to help Iron Might and then get turned into a stain?
I really do not remember. Damn.
Hold on. Let me make sure I'm not tripping. Right? It's possible that I just made that shit up. I thought when he pulled up, All for One like cooked his dumb ass. Like, I'm pretty sure Stain used his quirk, and then like All for One's like, oh yeah, I already have a resistance to that or some shit. Let me see.
That's crazy.
Let me make sure.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because Kurogiri went out the same way. Bro died and no one cared about him. So
yeah, it seems to be the case. Like, if he's not dead, chat, I'll just say this, right? Spare me for thinking that he is, because when you look at this, chat, I think you'll understand, right? You know, please allow. That's Stain, by the way. The thing that All for One is punching. That's Stain. Like, I just like if he's not dead, please forgive me for thinking so, because I mean, holy shit. Like, yeah, that motherfucker is gone.
How I guess while we're on this topic, how do you feel about like some villains dying and some surviving? Like, because I've seen some people say they'd rather Toga and Shigaraki live and stuff. I'm not sure how you feel about that.
I think Shigaraki can die. I think it's honestly fine. But here's the thing. What's tough is I don't necessarily know how I'd have him die with it feeling like Deku didn't waste his time. Because that's the thing where I'm saying the question is harder than the answer, right? Like, how do you reconcile that? How do you save Shigaraki? Like, realistically, right? I don't know. Personally speaking, that's what I was excited to see how Horikoshi went about it, right? I mean, I can speculate a little bit. I can say like, oh, you know, like promising a better future for all those people that Shigaraki wanted to save. Like, if Shigaraki wanted to be a hero for the villains, right? Maybe, right? This might fall apart. This may seem dumb, right? But Deku could have been a hero to the villains and for heroes, right? Like, he could have been a hero to people that needed that helping hand, right? Not villains that, like, you know, just hurt people for no reason, but more for people like Toga, for people like Twice, for people like Shigaraki, for people like Dabi, for people that are made villains due to circumstance and, like, that are forced to the edges of society, like Shigaraki is. Like, oh, I'll just destroy everything. I'm a villain to my friends, or not a villain. I'm a hero for my friends, right? Because I'm like a shining beacon of hope for them. And it's like, I think maybe just off the dome, it could have been nice to see, you know, Deku, commandeer maybe has a little bit of a strong connotation, but like take on that mantle of like, I hear you, but it doesn't have to. Destruction isn't required for that. Maybe I'm crazy, right?
Because I think the problem is that Horikoshi frames it that the only way to save Shigaraki was by getting rid of All For One, but I think there was definitely more problems Shigaraki had that weren't related to All For One, and so I keep comparing it to Naruto, but I think it's kind of obvious how much Horikoshi gets that inspiration from Naruto. But like with Obito had two problems with him. One was that he was manipulated by Madara, and the second one was that bro like needed like saving himself. Like he didn't know who he was, and so we kind of have that moment where, you know, Naruto saves him from that talk no jutsu moment, but then Obito has to figure out himself, you know, who am I? And that's when he goes up to Madara. Madara still continues to try to manipulate him, but then he's like, you know, no, I am Obito Uchiha, and that's like his moment of salvation. And then he has a small bits of moments here and there and stuff, and then he eventually does die. And I think like that's kind of like the perfect way to kind of save Obito but still have him die. So like I don't know if Shigaraki kind of needed to live a little bit, like if they did team up against All For One in the end. I'm not entirely sure how. I won't say I'm a better writer than Horikoshi, even though we're here being like, oh, I wanted it this way stuff. But yeah, I think just more emphasis on believability when it comes to him being saved, rather than it depending on a smile. Because I'm not happy with Shigaraki dying alongside his abuser. I don't think that sets the right tone, especially with the clouds, you know, going away, the sunlight, while Shigaraki's disintegrated into skin flakes. Like it's not really a good look, if I'm being real.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. Horikoshi is just a great example of like a relatively innocuous decision, but pretty encapsulative. I think I made that word up, chat. That's my fault. Webster, add that to the dictionary. But that encapsulates a lot of how I feel about my heroes. Like someone, let's see, who said it in here? Faraya, like how Deku got his arms back, right? And it's like, I don't mind Deku getting his arms back, but it is a weird decision to make immediately after with no consequences, because it's like you just made the decision and overrode it so quickly. Same thing with All For One dying, quote unquote, right? It's like, why? It just feels like you wasted my time with no real narrative value, right? Like, Deku, you lost your arms. Wow, that's shocking. You had them back next chapter. Can we switch it up? Can we do something? can we get Horikoshi? I'm not saying his arms have to be gone forever, right? That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that if you're going to take them away, I feel like there's more that can be done than just giving them back. Not the very next chapter, my fault, chat. You know, 2 chapters. I don't know. Let me
I was gonna ask, but as far as I'm certain, Deku doesn't master like 100%.
Oh, fuck, dude. That shit pisses me off so bad. Chat, listen, I've been trying to be real nuanced. I've been trying to be real, like, calm, real understanding of Horikoshi, right? Because I still love a lot of things about MHA, right? I still love MHA in general. But let me sit up for this one, bro. Let me sit up for this one. Dude, do you know how infuriating it is to realize, wow, Deku peaked at 45% of One for All, bro. 45% of fuck, man. God damn it. It was the God, dude. I can't even. Oh my god, that shit pisses me off so fucking bad, bro.
It's so weird as well, because I've seen people online be like, "Oh, that's not a fair criticism." And I feel like it totally is, because throughout the series he's trying to master it one by one.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird to just be like, "No, it's fine if he's just stuck at 45%."
It's just like, okay, right? Imagine, because it is built up. It's the whole thing. Like for like most of Deku's training up until we see the other quirks, the whole thing is just how can I use more and get better at it, right? Exactly. It's like, okay, imagine Yuji just never got dismantle and cleave, like ever. Because,
bro,
it's like, okay, he slapped me in the face. Do you want to spit on your hand next time? Like, you like add extra disrespect to it, bro. Like, kick me while I'm down too. Thanks. Is that dirt in my eye? Appreciate it, gang. Like, I don't know. It just feels like, oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah. Hold on. Let me read some of these super chats real quick.
Yeah.
So Xenolith, you sent 4 for this. Thank you. Hey Ronan, can you agree MHA is quite tone deaf for the racism subplot? For sure. That shit was ass. In general, I would need examples, but I'm sure I don't necessarily disagree. I'm sure there are some instances where I feel like Horikoshi is being like tone deaf or whatever. So I mean, basically the answer is perhaps. Let's see. Weeb Guru, thank you for the 2. Dabi fits the themes far better than Shigaraki. I think Dabi's conclusion fits the theme more than Shigaraki, but I think everything built up for Shigaraki is like the epitome of that. He's the head honcho of that. He exemplifies that more than even someone like Dabi, who I think exemplifies it quite a bit, right? But the one thing Shigaraki has over that, at least from my understanding, is that Shigaraki had an opportunity to be saved by the random layman when he was walking out on the street by himself, right? Dabi burned out in the forest, right? And All For One came and picked him up, right? It's not to say that the blame is only on All For One, because that only happened because of Endeavor, right? And I think Dabi is still crucial, or his character is still like very inherently tied to the main messaging of MHA. But I think that the explicit confirmation that Shigaraki, there are people walking by him, letting him just go without checking in on him. And that is not the only thing, but it is the final barrier just did not work, right? It wasn't there. It was invisible. It was intangible. It did not help him when he needed it, and that's why I think he embodies it more. But I do think that they are both very like they are very obviously pushing that theme quite heavily for sure. And we grew with, once again, thank you for the 2. All Might and All For One should have died in season 3. All For One, I wouldn't have been mad at. All Might, I do kind of like the idea that he can.
I think he needed to live, because the whole point of his character journey was that like he shouldn't feel burdened that he's still alive and stuff like that. Yeah, and that he doesn't need to be on the front line. He can be there as a support system to all the heroes.
And even and it's not like your story doesn't have to end in tragedy to matter. I think for All Might. Specifically, considering all the things he had done, that doesn't mean that there, nobody's story should. Another potential problem with the war just being like that. It feels very not war-y, but whatever, right? Back to that 45% shit, bro. God damn, that
is so strange. It's like Naruto not unlocking Kuruma's power and stuff. That's so strange.
And oh, dude. Ichigo, he doesn't learn Bankai ever. Yeah, bro, I got Shikai. Or we know Ichigo's Bankai is incomplete. And he's like, yeah bro, I just couldn't learn it. shit. It's very unfortunate. Yeah. Oh, God, dude. Oh my God. 45%, bro. He didn't even reach the halfway mark. Is that not crazy? Oh, Xeno, let me see. Basically, my point is that I think Horikoshi doesn't go far enough with a lot of his societal criticism or dilutes them too much, which comes across very tone deaf or out of touch. Oh, I 100% agree with that. I 1,000,000% agree with that. If that's what you meant, I co-signed. Hello. You know, I 1,000,000,000% agree. That Horikoshi is very... He toes the line that exists before the line he should really be towing. He's like really playing it safe. He's like, you know, I racism bad. That's the commentary we really need, Horikoshi. Appreciate you, buddy. I don't know. Fucking hell. Dude, I'm actually mad because I remember thinking about that. I saw someone tweet out about that, and I said, "Oh wow, oh fuck." No way. Yeah, spooky. But it was stated that Bankai takes dozens of years to master, so it was foreshadowed. Yeah, that's the type of shit I'm hearing, bro. But SSZ Gogito 9000, thank you for the 2. It's like LeBron. If LeBron never got a ring, bro. If Pookie Bear never got a ring, I'd be so devastated. But yeah, that's a W analogy. Let's see. Weeb Guru, thank you for the 2. New Gen doesn't show full potential nowadays. I'm trying to think. Like, I get it with MHA. I could understand if you're just saying like the lesson screen time doesn't allow for like a real exploration of that. If that's what you mean, I can fuck with it. And Tiberius, thank you for the 5. Just popped in to say thanks for the Cooling Games content. You're a goat. Genuinely, man, you deserve the successes. I appreciate that a lot, man. Thank you. I'm really glad you enjoyed those streams, and you know, just in general for everybody that appreciates. You know, thank you guys. It really means a lot. But yeah. Let's see. Any students other than Deku you wish got more? Dude, in all honesty, Todoroki I realized he was a lost cause pretty early on. For me, personally. For my sensibilities, Todoroki he didn't really speak enough. He wasn't an active participant enough. But I was like, it's whatever. Endeavor kind of carried that dynamic. As crazy as that is to say, considering he was like the perpetuator of it, right? He was the reason that dynamic even needed to be had. But yeah, Horikoshi decided. He said, "Let me lock in on the abuser, bro. Let me make him the best character in the Todoroki family. Gotta lock in. But Bakugo, I think he was pretty good, all things considered. I can't really complain. Uraraka for sure. Ida, I guess, but he didn't truly move me.
It's weird. There is a lot of characters, but it's also like, do I care enough for them to get more screen time?
It's that thing I don't like when people talk about like Naruto or some shit, but they're like, all these characters fell short of their potential. It's like, okay, sure. Did they have a moment that could maybe lead to them growing more and being more important? Sure. But based on even the most important thing they did, were they meant to be a bigger component of the series, or is them not being a bigger component of the series fundamentally a flaw of the manga? Some people say yes. I personally say no for a lot of them. Oh my god, bro. Ino, 1010, fucking like Kiba, bro.
Making excuses for him.
Like he could have really like, that's how I feel about a lot of Class 1A, right? Could Mineta have been a super deep character that shows I don't know, some aspect of like having a garbage quirk in a hero society? Sure. Was it necessary? Like, did I need it, right? Did I need to see that? And Horikoshi not giving me that is a failure on his part? No, right? That's kind of how I feel. That's how I feel for like a lot of Class 1A, where I'm like, oh no, that shit could have been better. It just could have been better. But
maybe more Stain. I'd say maybe a little bit more of him. I would have liked.
So, for sure. Potentially so, for sure. That's very fair. Very fair. I don't know, man. I don't know. There's not very many characters where I feel like it's tough, brother. It's tough, I gotta be honest. It's tough, I gotta be honest. Let me see. Where we at right now? Class 1A should have been smaller, honestly. We grew. That's not a horrible take, to be honest. Kirishima is a character that I feel like is not necessarily wasted potential, but he's someone that I could have stood to see more of. Yeah. Yeah. Aang and Mitty didn't master all 4 elements. I think it's fine, but Aang had all of them. Like, imagine Aang just did not learn fire, like, at all. He just I can't do it.
Nah, can't do that.
I got it with air, water, and earth. That's cool. I hate Rock Lee now because of those fans. Fraud Lee is crazy, by the way. He's not ass. It's unfortunate people just place expectations that were not necessary on him, man. It's like just let him rock, brother. Just let him rock. Yeah. You know what? We keep talking about the racism subplot. I want to see where that is real quick, because I remember reading that shit and thinking, wow, Horikoshi, you couldn't make this worse if you tried. You couldn't stink up the place more if you tried. And this will, I don't know, maybe be like the last super duper uber negative thing we talk about, I guess. And we can kind of maybe switch gears a little bit and maybe try to be positive about MHA. Maybe try to say some of the good things we liked. But I gotta look at I had to see something real quick. Who was it? Ojiro? Was he the one that was fighting? No, it's multi-arm guy. Chat.
Yeah, I did not know his name, bro.
Shoju. No.
I think that was it, isn't it?
I'll let y'all tell me in a second. Hello, thank you for the 5. My thing with the racism topic in MHA is that it felt sort of abrupt. It makes sense, but it kind of felt thrown in. IMO. I wish it showed it. I wish I showed it to rest in chat. Wait. Oh, I wish they showed it earlier on and built on it. Even subtly would have been nice. I mean, they kind of do with My Villain Academia. Shoji. Which one? Who did I say? Shoju. I said Shoju. Dumb as hell. But I think they don't the League of Villains kill like the MHA KKK basically, like the fucking whatever super racist. So it's shown, I think, but I don't think it's ever really. I'm gonna just be honest. I would have preferred Horikoshi didn't touch on it because he just doesn't have the facilities for it. I don't think.
And it's kind of done the vigilante bit as well, where one of the that tall animal girls getting bullied or whatever and stuff. But when you first read My Hero, none of those characters are subjected to that kind of I guess how do I say it? They're just not made for that role of a racism subplot being slowly built upon. And so yeah, it is a bit. I'm not even sure how that fight gets resolved in the manga. I won't lie.
Do you
remember?
Let's find out, brother. Let's find out.
Because it completely went over me.
He says, "This is one of my favorite pages in regards to this, man. Holy fuck, Horikoshi, you're a funny individual. You're a funny motherfucker, bro. Spinner, you're about to set us back 30 years. Fuck, dude. And it's like, I get the sentiment, right? But holy shit. Is that okay? Oh god, dude. I'm trying. Okay, hold on. Let me think. Let me bring myself back to the center. Right, bring myself back to the center. Yeah, Shoji and Koda, the two motherfuckers finishing off this fight, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Erase this whole shit. Give it to Deku and Shigaraki. dead ass. Every chapter, every page, every panel. Who gives a because it's just like because all that happens is just like Shoji's like, yeah, bro, those racists were pretty bad, but I'd rather focus on the people that aren't racist and the people that are. Like, oh, I didn't think about that. Just ignore the racists that harass and abuse you. I mean, that's sick. And then it can go directly into a Kurigumo. Oh yeah, let's go. Let's fucking go. Kurigumo. Why am I saying Kurigumo? Who the fuck is it?
It's Kurogiri, isn't it?
Kurogiri, that's what it was. I was thinking fucking Kagurabachi. I was gonna say my fault, chat, but I'm not apologizing for that. Kurogiri, yeah, bro. God damn, another plot line that went nowhere.
Yeah, I do not understand where bro was going with that. Even when he appears in the end of the All for One, like
oh
moment,
shit, he's like, I gotta save Shigaraki. I gotta help out my goat. What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
Yeah, and like what President Mike is like, he wants to help his friends, and then like that's the last like says relating to his character. Like Aizawa and President Mike don't say anything to him, and this is supposed to be like the old school friend, and it's just I don't know, bro. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know.
Yeah. Don't forget the civilians telling the only black person they don't know about discrimination. Real Horikoshi commentary. Yes, sir. Goat timing. You know, that shit was ass. God, that sucks so bad. It was just, you can just tell Horikoshi does not have he simultaneously spent far too long and far too little amounts of time on that. It was just, yeah. It's just not good. Yeah. Folks with human faces just don't get it. Yeah, bro. Yeah, the world got over black people racism type shit. Yes, sir. Yeah, we got over it. Yeah, well, Deku was crying about being quirkless. He was running from a race riot. God damn, dude. Let's see. Yeah. And it showed you winning an award for ending racism or whatever. It's like Drake winning an award for ending biracial hate after speaking about it one time. Oh, man. Yeah, that was bad. But let me read Carl Henry's tweet, or not tweet. Tweet is crazy. Super chat. What the fuck am I thinking? Carl Henry, thank you for the 10. If Star and Stripes fucked up Shigaraki internally enough to give Deku time to achieve 75% once for all with 100% achieved by wrapping his own Black Whip, at least that would have been a decent payoff. Something, brother. Something. Star and Stripe, I've far reconciled with the bullshit that was, but ugh, that was also the whole thing. But yeah. I forgot Shoji off-screen racism. Yes, sir. Because dealing with it is just, it's just social commentary beyond like Horikoshi's grasp. Like, if we're gonna be honest, right? Horikoshi, what do you know? Like, hey, bro, you in the streets, bro? You a civil rights activist? I didn't know about it. Maybe, but you don't write like it. I don't know. Whatever. Let's talk about some positivity. All right, let's gear shift a little bit. If I were to ask you what your favorite arc in MHA was, now that everything's said and done, what would be your answer? Or do you think that like it's hard to sort of parse that?
I'd say it's between 3.
Okay.
There's the sports festival, overhaul arc, and the hideout raids arc. I'd say. I think those are like my top 3 ones.
Okay.
For like plenty of different reasons. Like I had a lot of stock in Bakugo. He was like my favorite character, and I think he got a lot of good stuff from the hideout raid, which then leads into, you know, his fight with Deku again about blaming himself for All Might falling. For the sports festival, I think Horikoshi did well with handling so many characters. like Todoroki, even like Uraraka's fight with Bakugo is really good. With Bakugo not like underestimating her and stuff. Then the Hideout Raid arc, obviously with All Might versus All for One, and oh no, I said that shit. But with Overhaul as well, that was kind of, I think the Overhaul arc was the first kind of proper arc where it's like the villains aren't attacking us, we're kind of gonna go to them type of thing as well. And I think that helped have a break from My Hero's kind of repetitive setup it was going for recently. And yeah, I like the Deku versus Overhaul fight with the 100%, really nice stuff. And yeah, little good stuff there.
Okay. Yeah, I would say mine are much more basic. 'Cause mine is My Villain Academia, the Paranormal Liberation arc, and fuck, you don't even know if I could say. I'm trying to think of like, okay, those are definitely top two. I like that. I like the. I don't think they were back to back. I think they're sandwiched. Like the Endeavor agency arc is sandwiched in between those, but that was a nice like one, I guess, space two punch that Horikoshi set up there. I did like that. Yeah. Like that stretch of MHA was really good, and that's when I feel like motherfuckers were being like, "Bro, MHA's different. You don't understand. It was already good. Not listen, bro. It's getting something serious." I really liked the Forest training camp, if only because Deku versus Muscular. That was electric, bro.
Yeah, because that's like the first moment where Deku has to do things like on his own. He can't call for backup. This is the only time he has to kind of fight for himself this time.
Yeah, God, dude, there's a lot of good options. Like the sports festival arc is really good. I would probably The only problem with the Forest training arc camp, like the Forest training arc, is that like I feel like I like it a lot for its conclusion more so than the consistency. UA Sports might be in that third spot. So like My Villain Academia, Paranormal Liberation, and then UA Sports. I think those are in different regards Horikoshi's piece. My Villain Academia, I feel like, is what gave people the expectations. Oh yeah, like because people were talking about like, oh, MHA is the best villain in like a new gen or in Shonen period off of this, and you know, I think that was a very big reason for it. Like I think that continuation was like massively a contribution for sure. Yeah.
Shigaraki's backstory in that too.
Shigaraki's backstory, phenomenal. Deku fighting Shigaraki the first time, I'll honestly just say it, I liked it more than Deku fighting Shigaraki the second time. I'm gonna just be honest. The sports festival, damn dude, there's a nostalgia to it, man. There's a that's so MHA. That's so man. MHA, what you could have been. Didn't the Japanese audience not like My Villain Academia? Apparently, I don't know.
Yeah, apparently they don't like the villains at all.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this now that I can say it in a more like nuanced format than how I was gonna tweet out about it. But this is my general stance on things. I don't care about Japanese fans' opinions on a manga any more than I would inherently care about like anybody else's opinion. If the point, because people bring it up with like, oh, the Japanese audience fucked with it. Cool, I guess. I didn't. What does that have to do with me? Like it's like what does that got to do with the Gassetti in China kind of thing? Where it's like what's the relevance, right? How does that affect me? If the argument is that like, oh well, they got something you didn't because of like the nuance of translations. Okay, maybe that'd be a point, right? But just saying, well, the Japanese audience liked it, so that means you not liking it means you're stupid. Well, that's not really how that works. In the same way that like, if you say, I don't know, take whatever the MHA YouTuber equivalent is, like it's their very own swag Kage, or their very own just like, their guy, right? You said, well, he liked it. It's like, cool. Unless you can give me a reason why his opinion is like more credible, or like, you know, he's more knowledgeable or just whatever, right? Then I don't really care. I'm not really worried about it. Like, I'm happy Japanese fans liked it. That's great for them. More fans that are enjoying it, better for them, man. I mean, me not liking some aspects of MHA, that's fine. Them enjoying it, that's cool, but it's not really a relevant thing to bring up.
It's really weird because people really pick and choose with that stuff, because like they're like, yeah, the Japanese, they love My Hero and stuff, and it's like, okay, well, yeah, they also love Rent a Girlfriend. They love all these other weird series, and then it's like, oh no, the Japanese are stupid. Let's not look at them.
Yeah,
it's really weird.
It just fits whatever they want to say at the time, basically. Because when My Villain Academia was coming around and people were like, oh, the Japanese audience didn't like that, they were like, oh my god, they just don't know ball, blah blah blah. It's like, well, which one is it, man? Which one is it? Yeah, I don't know. Like, are my opinions on SpongeBob above every other non-Americans? Because that's basically the type of logic we're using. High key. Like, don't get me wrong. If you're saying, right, like, okay, there are some allusions to specific aspects of Japanese culture that I'm super unlikely to get, right? And hence my opinion should be at least them liking it or enjoying it or understanding it more. It's possible that it can make sense. Okay, sure. But then all you're doing, it's not about them being Japanese, it's about them having knowledge I don't about the series, which you would then say you value their opinion in general, right? Me disagreeing with a person in Japan that like thinks, nah, bro, this shit was hard. Like, okay, cool. I'm happy for him. I think it was ass. Now what? I think My Villain Academia was great. They don't. Now what? You know what I mean? It's just a really weird, it's a weird argument to have, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Very strange stuff. Very, very strange stuff. I don't know, man. Weird tangent for sure. But needless to say, I heavily fuck with those 3 arcs. I think that for me, I don't know if they epitomize what MHA is, but they kind of sample a lot of what my favorite aspects of MHA are. And surprise, surprise, like I feel like it's emblematic of asking those questions or answering them on a significantly smaller scale more than it is like neither of us named anything in that final act. Like that last third didn't really get much mention. And I imagine that if you poll every MHA fan, generally speaking, their favorite arcs are going to be in that first 60% of the manga, maybe the first 70%.
It's weird because like even like the first war arc, I forgot what's it called, like the para something.
Yeah, the paranormal liberation.
Yeah, with like that arc, I feel like Horikoshi handled that much better. Granted, it was much smaller compared to what happened later, but like the stuff with Hawks and Twice, it's like amazing. I think that's the highlight of the arc because you really feel bad for both characters, where Twice is like, why are you saying like I'm unhappy with the position I'm in and stuff just because like I'm a villain to you guys. Like all that stuff is great. It has a few issues, like I don't know, Gran Torino survives. Bro survives to the very end. He's in that final chapter as well. So, but yeah, that arc I think handles a better balance. I think maybe it's because it was kind of just focusing on Shigaraki a lot of it, because they're all trying to stop him from, you know, getting his full power and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that is kind of the last arc where I was really fucking with My Hero, but that is also kind of the arc, the end point where things started to, more issues started to creep in. Like, you know, we have Deku kind of going all out with his powers, and he's like, bro, if you go all out, your body's gonna get damaged. But then at the end of the arc, it's like, oh well, your body kind of just adapted to it, so you're good. And it's like, why bother kind of mentioning that in the first place?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's rough in that capacity, but I do think that there was a lot of good in that arc that I thoroughly enjoyed for sure. Let's see. Okay, I'll ask you, who is your favorite character in the story? Is it still Bakugo?
It's hard because with Bakugo, it's like, I think it's because of Deku. Deku affects Bakugo as well, because like they just, they needed to have some type of proper conversation where they're not screaming at each other, you know. And I think Horikoshi kind of skips a portion of Bakugo's development to get him to that stage where he is a lot more quote unquote kinder to Deku. We're seeing more of his feelings come out, because I do really like what's on the paper, like when he's like, Izuku, can I still catch up to you and stuff. Like, I love that shit.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like, I've said this before, but like Horikoshi has like the start of it planned, but he kind of skips out the middle section to go straight to the end. And I think he does that a lot, like he did it in the Shigaraki fight as well. But I don't. It's hard because like even just ignoring like Bakugo's character, I do really love his design and like his quirk, especially when he's like fully harnessed it. When he has the like sparks like around his body, that shit looks so cool. And yeah, it's tough because I do lean a lot more towards Endeavor, because I think he's just written perfectly. He's so clean from start to end, and I love how part of his character is that you don't need to forgive him, but you should still kind of just watch him try and be a better person. Like at the end of the story, one of his sons was like, yeah, I'm still not keeping in contact with you and stuff. Like, don't contact me, don't contact my kids, my wife, just stay away from me. And he's like, yep, I understand, fair enough and stuff. So I think it is between Endeavor and Bakugo. It's really tough, but it's between. I think Shigaraki was climbing up those ranks, but he needed to have a proper conclusion for me to really fuck with him like that.
Yeah,
so,
that's completely fair. That's completely fair. I do think that Deku was unfortunately dethroned by Endeavor, I fear.
Yeah, understandable.
Endeavor. I think I still, I don't know what it is, bro, because every time I open my mouth about Deku, it's like a complaint. But fuck, something about him moves me, bro. Maybe that reread's gonna let me know, but something about him moved me, and I think the reason it pisses me off so bad is because I like him so much that I'm like, bro, please, bro, Horikoshi, please, bro, give me something, man. I'm literally begging for scraps right now. Kick a tin can my way, brother. Please, bro, please. But yeah, Endeavor, and I would still say Deku's like pretty high up there for me, but
I am surprised Todoroki isn't one of your favorites. He does seem a bit Ronin core, I won't lie.
Okay, I'll ask you this, right? Because I know why. It's like Sasuke, Megumi, whatever.
He has that cool kind of demeanor,
Yeah.
He has that like stoic face all the time. He has some cool ass powers.
Yeah. Notice how you didn't mention a character trait. He's all flash, no gas, bro. Like it's like for me, right? Cool design, cool powers, stoic demeanor. Then what, bro? Like what? Like even if we just go half a layer deeper, where's your aura? He has it. He has it in the UA Sports Festival, and it just never really appears again.
Yeah.
Hey man, I'm sorry. Your aura credit card is declining. We don't. Yeah. Rough stuff.
Who would you say is your least favorite character?
All for one, easy.
Oh yeah, well, okay. Yeah.
Other than him,
besides him, yeah.
Okay. Fuck, that's tough because all for one. It's like all for one gap. Whoever the fuck else on here. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if this is a compliment to Horikoshi or an insult. I don't think he has very many characters that I can think of off the top of my head that I hate. Like usually, I either like them or I just don't care. I don't know who's a character you hate.
I think it's more so like there's characters I just don't kind of care about compared to like hating. Because yeah, like you said, it is kind of hard to hate a character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't lie. Even though I asked the question, I don't know.
Nah, that's fair. Like I'd say like Coda is like whatever. Like the fucking animal dude. And it's like
Oh,
he
yeah.
sucks, I guess. Um but
Mineta, I guess.
yeah,
Yeah.
all of class 1B, except like Monoma. Like
Mm.
I'm not moved by any of them personally. You know, Tetsu is not really moving the needle. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. But I will. Yeah, I don't know. Props on Horikoshi for not making like super hateable characters. I guess you know your characters that I didn't fuck with were mid. I think so. Is that a good thing? Maybe. Maybe.
All part of the plan. All part of all for one's plan.
All part of the plan. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hawks is a really good shout for a character. I feel like he just kind of. I feel like he pops up into that paranormal liberation arc, and then he kind of just like he fades, which is fine. But I don't know.
It's also weird with him because like his feathers get like burnt by Darby in that arc, but then he gets like I think it was like
More feathers. They're like
yeah, some like weapons and that they just put onto him. And I'm like, is that how his quirk works though? Like, could he just like connect himself to that system? It was really weird, but yeah, wait out, just redo stuff.
It's Horikoshi's way, man. You got it. He's like, damn, those consequences were looking a little strong. Let me run that back. Let me run that back. But yeah, let's see. Okay. All right. This one might be a little bit. This might be a little bit more difficult. So I'll couple this in two things, right? What is your favorite moment in MHA? And if this is a different answer, what is the moment in the manga that like really got you into the series like proper, where you were like, okay, let me really, really lock in?
Man. I still think the classic Todoroki moment when he's like, "It's your quirk, not his."
That's
is still
hard.
one of the top tier moments in the series. Even just like chapter 1, I still love that page of just Deku running in without thinking. I think the anime does that really great when you hear the "You Say Run" theme for the first time. It's like amazing.
God, dude, the MHA anime was so good at a point.
Yeah, it really was. Bakugo's moment when he's talking to Deku about like, you know, I'm the one who brought down All Might and he hasn't said anything. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
And that's some of the best Bakugo content ever.
Yeah.
And then Deku was like, All Might was my hero, but you were the one actually in my life. That shit hits hard.
Yes,
amazing.
Yes, sir.
I think those are probably my like top tier moments.
Okay.
Maybe with something with All Might, but I can't really think on it right now. United States of Smash is great. I also love that a lot.
United States of Smash is a really good one. That first Prominence burn was pretty hard. But I don't think that gets in my top rankings. For me, like you said, Deku versus Todoroki is a pretty solid one for sure. The 1,000,000% was when I was like, oh, this is
hard,
real. This is real, bro.
Bro, that was with like Muscular,
yes,
wasn't it?
sir.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was so gas, bro. Fuck, that
bro,
was the anime made that shit.
The music is so fucking hype for it as well, and even like when Deku is getting like barraged in and he's like thinking about All Might's words and he's crying, he's like, bro, I'm sorry, mom. Like it's bro, that moment is hardcore. It's so good.
I'm gonna rewatch this scene as soon as stream ends, bro. Fuck. That shit's hard. Actually that's top tier. See, this is the shit why I love Deku so much, bro, because I'm like, when he hits, he just fucking hits. Another one where he's fighting, I think it's he's fighting Shigaraki. He's like, I'm the Deku that does his best. I'm like, oh fuck, bro. That little boy needs saving. Like, I saw a boy that needs saving. Oh, dude. God damn it. There's so many cool moments in there. I even like I even like, even though I don't like the way it was resolved, like this arc in general, like you would never know that he was a hero. Like, hey man, Aura man, yeah, that's him. Yes sir, yes sir. That shit was hard, man. That shit was hard. I fucked with it. Like I feel like I feel like I'm looking at like a photo of like an old friend. Like I'm like, God,
bro. Like as I really love the Deku and the Gentle fight as well. And he's like, no one's mocking you, gentle criminal. Like that shit is so fucking hard.
Yes, sir. Nah, bro, fuck Endeavor. Put Deku back up there. Deku's my number one again.
Sure.
fuck Endeavor, bro. Deku's my number one again. Hell nah. I was tweaking. I'm back. I was on something, chat. I was on something. Please forgive my outburst.
Because I do understand that though. Because like I think Endeavor's like his character is clean like from start to end. I don't have any complaints about it. But like when it comes to moments that really move me, like I do think Bakugo has more of those moments as well, which is why he probably is like my top one with it. Because like even like I said before, you know, like can I still catch up to you and stuff. I love that shit. And then bro, when Bakugo returns to the fight in the war, and then Deku swings him rounds. Oh my god!
Listen, bro. Horikoshi was on. Like there were certain bursts where I was like, dude, you're the fucking chosen one. With the art too. No.
Bro, yeah, there was no talking, and they just knew what to do with each other. Oh my god.
Nah. Chat. This. Hold on, bro. No.
Let me bring that page up, man.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna share my screen for like 2 seconds. All right. Let me bring this up here real quick. Chat Rooney. All right. Chat. Listen, bro. Feel however you want about Bakugo coming back. You can think it's stupid. Shit, I might agree with you, right? But this. Ooh.
This was My Hero Academia, man.
The end of an era and the beginning. Horikoshi. Fuck, dude. And then. Oh my god, bro. And then you just have. Hold on. And they just lock in, bro. They just fucking lock in. Zoom. Bam. They just. Oh my god, bro.
Bro, that is so poetry in motion.
Yes. Fucking hell, bro. This shit was so crazy. Oh my god, Horikoshi. Where the fuck did you go? Bro, come back. The kids miss you. Like, shit. Nah, bro. That shit was so hard. I can't even lie to you, chat. I can't even lie to you. Fuck. Dude, even Bakugo fighting all for one, that shit was so hard. Hold on.
Bro, when Bakugo's like spinning in circles and he goes through the building.
Oh shit. God. Oh shit, dude. Oh, hell nah, bro.
And he's just smiling.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, Bakugo's number one now.
Yeah,
man.
that's
like,
what I'm saying. You guys really, what you just needed to hear about a peak. You just needed to hear about a couple of them, bro. Yeah, nah, bro. Dawnstar, thank you for the 10. One of the moments of Deku is his 45% Detroit smash against Muscular round 2. That shit was hard. He was like, this is my new full power. I was like, that's hard as fuck. That's cool as shit, bro. W. Well, thank you for the 10 rather. Sorry, dude. Dude, that. Hold on, I'll put it up here for you, chat. When Bakugo just fucking blowing All For One's dumbass up, like just over and over and over and over. I'm like, damn, bro. I kind of get it. I kind of get it, bro. And then that fall into that stomp, bro. Bro, think he's a hero for a second, man. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, don't do this, brother. Don't do this. Cause now you're gonna make me lock back in, bro. And the problem with Horikoshi is that he would make you lock in and then betray you.
Yeah.
That was the problem, bro. He was. But this shit. Oh my god. Fuck, bro. We used to be a proper country.
God damn it, man. Oh, this is like. Oh my god. This is potential, man, the manga. Like, for real.
Oh, fuck. Dude, dead ass, Horikoshi, if you never want to write again, can you be the artist for somebody? Bro, please. Bro, please, bro, please, bro, please, bro, please, bro, please, bro, please, bro, please.
Man.
Oh my god. Fuck! God damn it! God damn it, dude! It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. And even a lot of this Deku versus Shigaraki stuff is really good, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you isolate it or when you look at it before All for One comes in. Like I complain about the choreography, and I get it. I think it's important, bro. But the time has come to part ways with One for All, bro. Calling back, that shit hit. Now, if he followed through, that shit would have hit even harder. But God damn it, did that shit hit, bro. Oh my God. God, dude. Now you're so right. Horikoshi will cook a scrumptious 5-star meal, then the next day you're eating school food. Oh no, bro.
Hey man, Attack on Titan, anime original ending.
Hey bro, need it, need that. Yes sir, yes sir. Nah, bro, just cut out All for One, extend the fight. You don't have to change much, bro. Please, bro.
Yeah.
Please, bro. 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 Please. Damn, this shit's so good. For all of the hating, bro, when it gets down to it, MHA when it was MHAing was just fantastic, man. Shit. All right, bro. Yeah, let's. All in all, since we're coming off the high of some of its peaks, bro, how do you feel about MHA in totality as we're winding down a little bit?
Well, I'll start with the easiest bits to say. Is that I'd say Horikoshi is my favorite artist to ever come out of like just a manga in general.
Whoa!
Like,
oh shit!
yeah.
You throw in Kishigoto to the wayside?
Okay, man. I think he has better art than Kishimoto, but Kishimoto excels in other areas Horikoshi doesn't.
Okay.
But like, because if I could have any art style ever, like it would definitely be Horikoshi's. I just love the way he draws. But I understand, you know, we have different preferences for art styles. If you don't agree, that's okay. Just don't be mean to me. But yeah. Besides that, I still really love My Hero. I'm excited to give it a reread. I think I'm more looking forward to the early sections before like we get to the Dark Deku stuff. I'd say, but like, who knows? Maybe I could come back and be like, guys, I just didn't get it. It's amazing.
And listen, bro,
kind of thing.
If they're more accepting, then you might be able to get that one off. Don't do it when an anime is coming out in a year, bro. They'll think you're clout chasing though. Yeah.
But yeah. Should I give my rating for it as well? Well.
Yeah. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'd say for me, My Hero was kind of at a 7 out of 10. But if they landed with the Shigaraki stuff, it would have gone up to an 8. Because I consider that like really important. It kind of deserves that whole point kind of thing. But yeah, because I was disappointed. I'd say it is like it's still staying at a 7, maybe a 7.5. But I tend to not give 0.5 ratings because that feels kind of like a cheat way to like be in the middle of it all. But it's closer to a 7 than it is to an 8.
Yeah.
I'd say so. But
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
you know, maybe I'll reread it, go up to an 8, but I definitely don't see it being like a 9 or a 10. But I'd say a 7 out of 10 is my final rating for it.
For sure, for sure. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, art's amazing. The emotions that it's able to evoke. I mean, even not when reading it in context and just reminiscing. Really great. I think I'd give it a 7. I lean towards a 7.5 because there's some other series I have it like a 7 out of 10 where I'm like, I like My Hero more than them, but so. But it's I also look at 8 and I'm like, well, not that much more. You know, there's a tough. Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, My Hero isn't just this final arc as well. Like, there's so much good shit before it.
Yeah.
And I know we're kind of fresh off, like, a really lackluster finale, to say the least, so it can kind of cloud our judgment with it. Which is why, like, yeah, I could understand, like, giving it a 7.5 or maybe even an 8, you know?
Because most of MHA, in my opinion, is really good. It's a lot of it is weak, but there is so much that's good that I'm like, I fuck with it. Man.
Yeah.
I will say, I saw somebody say MHA's art was 8 out of 10. You gotta be laced, brother.
No.
You gotta be laced. I mean, Mikey, you know that I'm personally more of a Blue Lock art fan myself.
Yeah, man. I saw a tweet going around.
Yeah, I bet you did, brother. I bet you did. I bet you fucking did. But yeah. God damn, bro. The shit I would make with Horikoshi or Yusuke Nomura's pen, bro. Fuck. My God. Anyways, chat. Horikoshi, My Hero Academia. Damn, bro, am I about to get choked up saying goodbye? What the fuck? This is crazy, bro. I'm about to say goodbye, so I felt my voice quiver for a second. let me be a professional. God damn. Listen, for all the flaws we brought up, for all the problems that I think we both had, I think you could tell, especially when we got into the positive sections, that we do have a lot of passion for the series.
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss MHA, man. I'm gonna miss its spot in the magazine. I think the ending was definitely whatever, but fuck, if reminiscing on some of its great aspects did not really have me just unbelievably gassed. Man, it's gonna be weird not seeing it in the magazine, just period. I really do enjoy MHA. I think that reread is going to be interesting for me to see how I feel when I come completely back to it. But I enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed the ride as a whole. You know, bumpy at some points. You know, drove straight off the road at others. But hey, we got there at the end of it, right? We got there at the end of it, and it was really good, bro. MHA was the friends we made along the way and everything. Speaking of which. You know, our thank you to my good friend Mr. Mikey Hubert, if you will. You know, appreciate you joining me, brother. Appreciate you, being my partner in MHA slandering crime. I know that you have an upcoming MHA video that you're very excited to release, very locked in for, and that will be coming out very, very, very soon. Isn't that right, buddy?
Yeah, man. Thanks for that promotion for it.
Sure,
great.
For sure.
Yeah, I have a My Hero video coming, so if you want to go over to my channel, maybe sub, hit the notification bell to be alerted when it does come out. Then yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mikey said if you don't lock in, he gonna take you off the map. This is our good friend Mikey. In case y'all are interested, go lock in, check him out. I'll link it in chat for y'all for all those that are interested. Got a specific analysis on the series about maybe his art or something. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun, huh? I didn't spoil it. But yeah, let's just say you're gonna want to go over there. You're gonna want to see it. Mikey makes great videos. So yeah. Thank you guys for coming out here. I appreciate y'all. Everybody that super chatted, everybody that just, chilled here with us, talked, chopped it up about MHA. Thank you guys. Thank you, Mikey, once again. Appreciate you so much, brother. And yeah, we will see you guys later. I guess next stream will probably be on Friday. But until then, You guys will just be seeing another video or two being continued uploaded for the challenge. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, night, or morning, and I'll see you in the next one.